For over 40 years, Caterpillar defined what a heavy construction fleet looked at. The Cat D6 dozer pushing earth on British motorway projects. The Cat 320 excavator digging trenches across German industrial parks. The Cat 966 wheel loader moving aggregate through quarries from Ireland to Austria. Yellow iron on every major job site from Hamburg to Dublin. From Scottish Highland roadworks to Scandinavian timber yards, from German open pit quarries to Austrian alpine tunnels, Caterpillar was the name you expected to see. Every contractor bought Cat. Every dealer stocked Cat parts. That was the construction rule across Europe for half a century. But walk onto a working site in Ireland, Sweden, or Austria today. Ask the operators when they last saw a new Caterpillar on a job. Most of them will tell you it has been years. The yellow iron that defined European construction is quietly disappearing from working fleets, and the reasons why cut deeper than most American equipment dealers want to admit. If you cover heavy equipment, hit subscribe, because this story has been building for 40 years and it is accelerating now. After the Second World War, American aid reshaped Europe through the Marshall Plan. Cat D6 bulldozers cleared rubble from bombed German cities. Cat motor graders cut road base across the French countryside. Cat wheel loaders stocked aggregate yards in Rotterdam, Hamburg, and Antwerp. By the 1960s, the yellow Cat logo was the default symbol of heavy construction worldwide. Caterpillar built an infrastructure to match. The Finning dealer network in Britain. Zeppelin Baumaschine in Germany. Bergrat Monoir in France. Large parts warehouses, trained service technicians, long-term contracts with major construction firms. When a Cat 966 broke down on a Ruhr Valley quarry, the dealer had the part on a service truck within hours. But inside that dominance, the seeds of the collapse were already planted. Swedish engineers at Volvo were designing articulated haulers for Scandinavian terrain. German engineers at Liebherr were developing mobile cranes with precision American manufacturers could not match. British engineers at JCB were inventing the backhoe loader category that would define small contracting work across 3 continents. Caterpillar management in Illinois watched it happening and chose to hold margins rather than compete. That decision is why yellow iron is disappearing from European job sites today. While Caterpillar managed its European business as a profit center, 4 companies were building something different. JCB, founded by Joseph Cyril Bamford in 1945, is still privately held, still owned by the Bamford family. Lord Anthony Bamford runs it today. The JCB factory in Rochester is one of the largest single manufacturing sites in Britain. JCB invented the backhoe loader, the telehandler load-all, and the compact-tracked skid steer. JCB designs built by JCB engineers in a factory owned by one family. Liebherr, founded by Hans Liebherr in 1949 in Kirchdorf, Germany, is still privately held, still run by the founder's grandchildren. Liebherr operates its own foundries, casts its own components, builds its own engines in some categories. The Liebherr R9200 mining excavator, the Liebherr LTM mobile crane series, the R9800 ultra-class shovel. Every one of these comes out of a vertically integrated manufacturing base that most American equipment companies gave up decades ago. Volvo Construction Equipment operates as part of the publicly traded AB Volvo Group, headquartered in Gothenburg. Not family-owned, but Swedish business culture treats long-term engineering investment as more valuable than short-term stock price management. The Volvo L-Series wheel loaders, the Volvo A-Series articulated haulers, the Volvo EC excavator line, all built for operators who put decades on the same fleet. Komatsu is Japanese, not European, but its European dealer network made it a direct competitor to Caterpillar throughout this period. The Komatsu PC490 excavator, the D475 dozer, the WA600 wheel loader, machines built to run hard for decades. The common thread is reinvestment. A family-owned manufacturer does not have quarterly earnings pressure. The same JCB 3CX backhoe stays in production for 20 years with incremental improvements. Caterpillar, by contrast, tends to redesign entire product lines every 5 to 7 years, driven by marketing cycles rather than what operators actually need. 20 years of reinvestment produces a better machine than 20 years of redesign and rebrand. That is why European operators in 2026 are buying European iron. Now to the part of this story that does not get covered outside industry trade publications. The Caterpillar dealer network collapse. Starting in the late 1990s and accelerating through the 2000s, Caterpillar Corporate pushed a strategy of dealer consolidation. The logic went like this. Too many small dealers create overhead and dilute the CAT brand. Consolidate them into larger regional operations, and the spreadsheet looks cleaner. CAT finance teams loved it. Wall Street analysts loved it. The operators in the field did not. A CAT contractor in rural Bavaria used to have a local dealer 20 kilometers away. After consolidation, the nearest CAT dealer with parts on hand was 200 kilometers away. A CAT contractor in the Scottish Highlands used to have a service van that could reach him in a morning. After consolidation, service response stretched to 2 or 3 days. The Finning network in Britain, the Zeppelin Baumaschinen network in Germany, the national distributors in France and Scandinavia, all of them consolidated. All of them centralized parts inventory in regional hubs. European competitors did the opposite. JCB expanded its dealer presence across Britain and Ireland. Liebherr invested in direct factory service relationships with mining and quarrying customers. Volvo CE built a dealer network that treated smaller Scandinavian contractors as primary customers. Komatsu expanded its European service footprint through the same period, targeting the markets CAT was retreating from. The result was predictable. When a contractor's CAT broke down and the part was 3 days away, he started looking at alternatives. When his neighbor's JCB or Liebherr was running through the same conditions with same-day service, the comparison made itself. A European fleet that ran mostly Caterpillar in the mid-1990s ran a minority of Caterpillar by 2010 and barely any Caterpillar by 2020. The Quisoup audience surfaces a parallel worth sitting with. General Electric versus Siemens. GE dominated industrial turbines for decades. Siemens ate that market over 30 years by reinvesting in engineering and service depth, while GE optimized for quarterly earnings under Jack Welch. By the time GE noticed, Siemens-owned categories GE had considered permanent. Caterpillar is running the GE playbook in heavy equipment. Every dealer consolidation decision looked correct on a Deerfield, Illinois spreadsheet. Each decision also made it slightly harder for a CAT customer in Bavaria, Dublin, or Gothenburg to keep his machine running. The cumulative effect across 2 decades was the collapse of the European Caterpillar business. If you are finding this useful, hit subscribe. I cover heavy equipment market shifts every week. The dealer network story is only half of the problem. The other half sits in the operator seat. Spend 40 years in heavy equipment cabs and your back, kidneys, shoulders, and hearing will tell you which machines were designed by people who thought about operators and which were not. Older CAT scrapers get called out in the Quisoup comments as spine killers, kidney killers, career enders. The cabs rattled. The seats bottomed out on rough ground. The CAT cab ventilation fought you instead of helping you. Liebherr and Volvo cabs, by contrast, are quieter, better ventilated, built around the operator body rather than around the engine bay. A Volvo L220 wheel loader cab in 2026 is a calmer place to spend 10 hours than a comparably priced CAT 966 cab. A Liebherr mobile crane cab has visibility lines a CAT crane cab does not match. A JCB Lodahl telehandler cab has controls that fall under the operator hand the way a CAT equivalent still does not. These sound like small things. They are not small things when you are sitting in the seat from 6 in the morning until 6 at night, 5 days a week, for 30 years. They compound into back injuries, hearing loss, and repetitive strain problems. Younger operators coming up through training programs in Sweden, Germany, and Britain prefer the European cabs from day one. The software lockout story runs parallel. CAT Electronic Technician Software, the diagnostic suite that reads engine codes, has historically been dealer-controlled. A contractor in rural Austria who used to replace an injector and go back to work found the swap through a code that required a CAT dealer laptop to clear. The dealer laptop was hours away. The contractor sat idle. European manufacturers are not perfect on this issue, but regulatory pressure in Germany and Scandinavia has kept them more open. The right to repair fight is running 5 years late in American heavy equipment compared to John Deere agriculture, and European contractors voted on it already. To understand how complete the shift has become, walk through the major markets. Ireland. The backhoe category is so dominated by JCB that Irish contractors describe job sites as JCB only. The JCB 3CX is the default Irish municipal backhoe. The JCB Loadall is the default telehandler. CAT share in Irish small contracting rounds to 0. The Nordic countries. Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark run Volvo construction equipment as the default. The Volvo L series in forestry yards, the Volvo A series on quarry haul roads, the Volvo EC480 on urban projects. Caterpillar is a footnote in general Nordic contracting. Germany. Liebherr dominates German mining and quarrying. The Liebherr R9200 and R9800 shovels in the open-pit lignite operations. The Liebherr LTM mobile crane series on construction and heavy lift work. In the Ruhr Valley, Liebherr, Komatsu, and Volvo handle the working volume. Britain. JCB is the default backhoe and telehandler. Komatsu and Volvo run mid-size excavators on motorway projects. Hitachi is common in quarry operations. Liebherr cranes on heavy lift sites. Austria. Liebherr runs Austrian construction the way JCB runs Ireland. Regional loyalty compounds across generations. The one European segment where Caterpillar remains strong is surface mining at the largest scale. Ultra-class CAT 797 mining trucks still ship to European mining operations where payload capacity, not dealer proximity, is the decisive factor. But the construction category, the backhoes, the wheel loaders, the mid-size excavators, the telehandlers, CAT lost that. Lost it quietly, over 30 years, dealer by dealer, spec sheet by spec sheet. What makes this story urgent for American viewers is that the same pattern is now playing out in American yards. Articulated haulers in American mining are increasingly Volvo and Komatsu. Telehandlers in American agriculture are increasingly JCB. Compact track loaders face pressure from Kubota and Takeuchi. Mid-size CAT excavators face pressure from Hitachi, Kobelco, and Komatsu. The feedback loop is running. European manufacturers used European revenue to reinvest in product development. That product development is now showing up in American showrooms. American contractors are buying it. American CAT dealers are losing market share. The Caterpillar corporate response, when it comes, arrives late, and in categories where the market has already moved. The European story is not a warning anymore. It is a preview. Subscribe for more coverage of how the heavy equipment market is shifting. The brand wars in construction iron are only getting louder. The categories CAT lost in Europe are the categories American manufacturers are losing now. Stay with the channel, and we will keep breaking down what is happening on working job sites.